Hi everyone, I'm John C. Morley, the host of the JMOR Tech Talk Show and Inspirations for Your Life. Well, hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur, and it is great to be with you. It is June 27, 2025, and welcome to the JMOR Tech Talk Show. Great to be with you guys. Some amazing stuff happening in the tech world, in case you guys did not know that. But first of all, if you are thirsty, go grab yourself something from your kitchen. I have some RO water here. Or perhaps maybe you want something sweet or something tart or healthy or not. That's totally up to you. I definitely will recommend that you do that and hurry on back. All right. Do check out believemeachieve.com, of course, for more of my amazing, inspiring creations, which I know you are definitely going to want to check out. All right, everyone. And so let's just kick off today's show. So for those of you who don't know, I want to just first welcome you to the JMOR Tech Talk Show. We are every single Friday, but of course, if you miss it, just go to believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. And I know, guys, with a lot of stuff happening, sometimes, you might miss something. And, that's perfectly okay to miss stuff because, missing things because there's so much in the world happening. I find that people get very curious about things. And so I love to just kind of like refresh people on stuff, right? So welcome, everyone. Welcome to another powerful and yet very thought-provoking episode of course, the JMOR Tech Talk Show. I'm your host, of course, serial entrepreneur, video producer, engineer, John C. Morley, also tech enthusiast, and not only just a podcast host, but podcast coach as well. As I said, I'm very passionate about decoding the latest innovations, trends, and disruptions shaping our digital world. Each week, I bring you tech stories that matter, from breakthroughs and ethical debates to risks shaping our digital future. Get ready, everyone, to explore this week's most amazing, important tech developments in a way that's insightful, inspiring, and easy to understand for everyone of all ages. So let's just dive right in, all right? Number one, Malaysia court order hits Telegram. Ouch. So Malaysia's government is cracking down, and it's about time they did, on harmful online content with a court order targeting Telegram for failing to control disruptive material. This landmark move marks the start of a tougher yet social media reform law in the country. A reminder that platforms with global reach face rising pressures to police their content. And I think this is important, guys, for every single person that's out there, regardless of whether you're in tech or if you're not in tech. I think it's very important to understand this because, we have to, as I said before, we have to be mindful of what it is we're doing and, why we're doing certain things. So I think that's a very important thing. But to dive in there, Malaysia's communication regulator has obtained a temporary court order against the messaging app Telegram and two of its channels, Edisi Saisat and Edisi Kahas, for allegedly spreading content that could disrupt public trust and societal harmony. The Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission cited Telegram's repeated failure to act on flagged content as the reason for the legal move. While Telegram has yet to respond, the higher court's interim injunction aims to halt and prevent similar future content. The case marks one of the first enforcement actions under Malaysia's new social media law, requiring platforms with over 8 million users to register and face legal consequences if they don't. Ouch, guys. I'm glad that they're stepping up to the pike because too many people are just thinking because, hey, we're small and we can do whatever we want, so it doesn't matter. So I'm glad to see that they are doing that. Number two, AI robot plays badminton against humans. Yeah, would you play badminton against an AI robot? So robotics have taken a giant leap this past week as four-legged AI robots amaze researchers by rallying 10 hits in a badminton game against humans. Now, this blend of robotics, vision, and sports intelligence hits a very interesting part of the future where machines aren't just helpers, they're competitors. Yeah, that's kind of weird if you ask me, right? So, AI badminton robot was trained to play humans. The researchers at ETH Zurich have developed a four-legged robot capable of playing badminton against humans, marking a breakthrough in sports robotics. This was featured in Science Robotics. The AI-powered robot uses advanced camera tracking and a fast-moving racket arm to follow and return shuttlecocks midair, mimicking human gaze and movement patterns. It's trained to reposition itself after each shot. The robot faced amateur players and managed a rally of 10 consecutive hits. Wow. While it's not yet ready for professional play, the achievement demonstrates how robots can learn complex sports and compete with humans in real-time matches. So this could help humans to become better, learning about patterns, learning how to do everything. Maybe this could be in baseball, learning how to outwit your pitchers and batters and things like that. So there's benefit to that. But when I hear that we're competing against a machine, I don't really like that terminology. I like the idea that we're working with the machine to become better, but I don't like calling it a competitor. I just feel that feels kind of uneasy. Number three, Waymo seeks the New York City permit for robo-taxi testing. The robo-taxi race is heating up again, guys. And Waymo is applying to test this autonomous fleet in New York City, hoping to bring driverless rides to America's largest metro area. As competition with Tesla intensifies, the future of urban mobility edges just, let's say, a little bit closer. Yep. So, as I said, Waymo seeks the New York City permit in a bid to expand the U.S. robotaxi operations. Alphabet's self-driving unit, which you all know is under the Google umbrella, right? That's Google's parent company. Waymo announced it will return to New York City next month to begin autonomous testing and has applied for a permit from the New York City Department of Transportation to operate its vehicles with a safety specialist behind the wheel. That's just in a few days, next month, right? While the current effort is not a service launch, Waymo aims to bring its fully autonomous ride-hailing, quote-unquote, service to the city in the future. This move comes as competition in the robo-taxi space intensifies. With Tesla preparing limited trials of its autonomous taxi service, Waymo is already operating over 1,500 vehicles and 250,000 weekly rides across several United States cities. And it continues to expand its footprint every day, recently now gaining approval to operate in more areas of California. The company is also pushing for changes to the New York State law, which currently prohibits driverless vehicles with no human on board. I think that's asking for a disaster if we're going to just run vehicles without humans on board. That's a big, big problem. It's important to understand, what's going on. And, I think a lot of people are just right now very baffled by different things that are happening. I think that's a really big problem. And number four, guys, I got to tell you, this is one that I posted on TikTok not too long ago. And so TikTok has, unfortunately, blocked us and many other people from streaming our services, not on TikTok, but through our third-party professional streaming platforms. They've just decided, for whatever reason, they're not allowing it. So I think that's kind of wrong. So recently, this morning, I had gotten a request that came back, and it was funny. The video actually got flagged by their AI engine, quote unquote. Now, it's funny. Just about 5 minutes ago, TikTok just reinstated the content. So here's what happens. When you create a video, which I do lots of them, and you use the words AI and it can't like handle all this AI processing with the different AI words and stuff, the engine, I should say, flips out and it just flags it. So I put the request in that it was not against the terms and conditions. And guess what? The video is now restored. But AI is definitely making mistakes. We know this every single day. And so the video was about, as you know, I do reels every day, and then we sum them up in a larger portion here on the show. Trump basically was doing some interesting things, but I'll get to what video was banned in a minute. But the first thing I want to talk about is Trump extending TikTok's U.S. sale deadline again. Like, are we even going to believe what Trump's doing? Like, I've just lost credibility in him. In a saga blending tech and politics, Trump gave TikTok more time to sell its U.S. operations amid security concerns. I mean, how many times are we going to keep saying tomorrow, 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 tomorrow? I mean, come on, Trump. I mean, what are you doing? You're making a mockery of this. But with the U.S.-China tensions high, the platform's future and the data of millions is hanging in the balance. And I think this is how can I say, quote unquote, a problem. So President Donald Trump extends the deadline for China-based ByteDance to divest TikTok's U.S. assets by another 90 days. That comes down to September, basically, pushing the cutoff to basically mid-September. And the White House had confirmed this. Now, despite a law mandating a sale, remember this, before Trump took office, or shut down by January 19th, Trump had now granted 3 extensions. She's going to keep doing this forever, citing both national security concerns and TikTok's popularity among young voters. Now, a proposed deal to spin off TikTok's U.S. operations into a domestic firm backed by American investors stalled due to China's resistance following new U.S. tariffs. Now, while Trump seeks a resolution that ensures, American data security, critics argue he lacks the legal authority to delay enforcement. So my question is this, If he lacks the legal authority to do it, then how the heck is he doing it? This is my question. How many times, this is really my question, how many times can TikTok keep, can they keep, extending the deadline? It's I don't know. Does he have authorization to do this? I mean, right now he is, but he might get in trouble down the road. Who knows? Number 5, guys, the Air India 787 crash investigation progress. Authorities are combining through the black box data after Air India 787's crash. Now, let's talk a little about the black box. So, first of all, how many black boxes are on a plane? Now, this is something that's pretty interesting, and maybe most people don't know this. There are typically, they say there are 2 black boxes. Although the name is black, they aren't actually black. They're orange in color, so they can be distinguished from far away. So among the 2, one is called the flight data recorder, and another is called the cockpit voice recorder. The flight data recorder is used to record the data such as, altitude, speed, pressure, and all the necessary parameters that are used to keep the aircraft floating, whereas the cockpit voice recorder captures the voice recordings of the cockpit, which is having a slot of 2 hours. The last minute recording gets deleted, and the new minute recording gets added to that so that there's always the fresh recording of the last 2 hours before the incident. Previously, the cockpit voice recorder used to have 30-minute time slots, which has now been upgraded to 2 hours. So commercial aircrafts tend to carry 2 black boxes. Again, they are orange, as I said. One called the flight data recorder and one called the cockpit voice recorder. And so this is very, very interesting. It's interesting how it's done because things are really crazy with this flight situation. I mean, they're just like they're nuts, guys. They're really, really nuts. So the investigation into the Air India Boeing 77 is really what we are. In case you're knowing, that's really what I'm talking about here today. And anytime we have issues with planes, I mean, it gets pretty serious, right? Authorities are combining the black box data as investigators look at engines, controls, and pilot actions. The world waits for answers on what went wrong and how future tragedies might be circumvented. So we mentioned the investigation to Air India Boeing 77 crash in Allahabad, which occurred just 40 seconds after its takeoff, is underway with many authorities analyzing the wreckage and flight data recorders, right? We talked about the cockpit recorder and the flight data recorder to determine the cause of the actual disaster. Now, investigators are examining engine performance, cockpit voice recordings, and aircraft systems, focusing on potential issues such as engine failure, flap settings, fuel contamination, or pilot error. The recovered black boxes, which are not black, they are orange, will provide critical data on engine thrusts, control inputs, and other flight parameters. While no major safety concerns have been found in recent inspections of the Air India 787 fleet, the inquiry involves collaboration among Indian, Boeing, GE, and international experts. Given the complexity, early findings may emerge soon, but a full understanding will take longer to develop, and we're going to have to sit by why that happens, because this is a very serious situation, guys. And I think these are definitely a problem. I think it's definitely a problem. So number 6 is one of my favorites here today. Google's AI search mode sparks web traffic fears. Google's AI-powered search is changing how we get information, but will it destroy traditional web traffic? With fewer clicks for creators and publishers, this could mark the dawn of an AI-dominated web where human voices are harder to find. And I think that's a big problem right now, because the web is starting to give us data based on synthesis of other data. And we all know AI makes mistakes. We know that. So is Google going to kill their new AI-powered AI mode in its search engine, promising a revolutionary way to find information by providing a direct AI-generated set of answers instead of traditional search results? But the experts are warning this could severely reduce traffic to websites, undermining the open web's business model and threatening the diversity and the quality of online content. While Google insists AI mode will enhance search and benefit the web ecosystem by sending users to more relevant sites, critics highlight that fewer clicks mean less revenue for publishers, risking a mass shift to social media and less autonomy for creators. This shift may mark the end of the familiar web experience, leading to a machine web where AI summaries replace human curated content, fundamentally changing how people discover and interact with information online. And guys, I got to tell you, that is not going to be good, because anytime a machine's going to summarize everything and I can't read it with my own 2 eyes, right? That's a problem, because things are going to get filtered, and the data that we expect is not necessarily going to be what we want. And so you might say, John, it's not a big deal. I'm here to tell you guys, it is a major, major, major big deal. Because if something is telling you what you should or should not do based on some data that might not even be 100% correct, I got a problem with that. I don't know about you, but I have a huge problem with systems trying to replace humans with technology. Now, I'm not saying that technology is bad, because technology is a tool. How we choose to use it makes it basically good or bad. It's not the tool itself that's good or bad. A weapon is not good or bad, right? So let's go over to Merriam-Webster. I think this is probably the best way to do this. Merriam-Webster, we'll get the definition of tool. So according to Merriam-Webster, A tool, it's a noun. It's a handheld device that aids in accomplishing a task, the cutting or shaping part in a machine or machine tool. Something such as an instrument or apparatus used in performing an operation or necessary in the practice of a vocation or a profession. That could be things like pliers. That could be anything. It could be, if you're a stylist, it could be a blow dryer. It could be a lot of different things. If you are in the tech world, like maybe it could be a spectrometer, maybe it could be a fiber meter, maybe it could be something else. If you're in the kitchen, well, maybe it could be your KitchenAid mixer. Maybe it could be your quick blow, freezer that lets you like blow things immediately cold, right? So tools are not necessarily good or bad. They are something that does something, and how we choose to use them makes it so. A computer is a tool, guys. And if you use a computer in its best way, then it's good. If you use it in a bad way, well, it's not good. So is AI a tool? Yes, AI is a tool. Exactly. You're catching on. So AI is not good. AI is not bad. So you might say, John, well, why did we hear about these things a few weeks ago or a month ago about that company, Anthropic, and their whole concept to basically try to blackmail this developer? Well, I always believe that, when these systems come up with these ideas, they don't just come up with them on their own. Some person in that development team had that mindset. And I've always said the problem with it is always its weakest link. So if somebody on that team was feeding it data that it shouldn't have been feeding it, or giving it information that really shouldn't have been getting into the system, that can cause a problem, right? When we do that in a controlled study, we call that a compromise, right? We always have to have controlled study. Number 7, tech solutions help track and protect pets. I love this. Pet lovers are embracing GPS collars and tracking apps to keep furry friends safe. From real-time alerts to smart boundaries, tech is making pet ownership smarter and giving owners, well, let's just say, peace of mind. Their whole thing is never lose your pet again. Track them with tech, right? Technology offers pet owners effective ways to keep track of their cats and their dogs, as I said, to GPS-enabled collars. They can get real-time updates and what have you. They can even have something called safe zones. If the pet leaves the designated safe zone, they can be alerted on their phone, their smart app. While devices vary in features and, of course, prices, most require a subscription for cellular connectivity. That can definitely cause some prices to increase there. And battery life depends on usage and signal strength. So now we're not just talking about your local Wi-Fi network. We're talking about the fact that this device has to connect to a WAN that's on cellular, wide area network. It's on cellular. So we all know what cellular bills cost, and we all know that, they charge by the amount of data. And so when you have a company that's using this service, they are going to take their price, let's say they're getting charged X dollars, and they're going to mark it up. That's what they're going to do, because it's proprietary and because they're the ones offering the technology and you're a captive audience. So they go ahead and they do that. Now, through microchips, which are still useful for identification, they don't offer any live tracking, in case you're wondering. Bluetooth trackers like Apple AirTags can help in urban areas, but have limited range and, of course, a reliability of working outdoors. Overall, these tracking technologies provide peace of mind and help prevent lost pets, though they cannot physically keep pets from wandering off. So you're probably wondering, so what tech is out there to, let's say, prevent your pet from getting lost? And I'm giving you the higher level overview of it, right? So there are lots of them out there. There are things just for cats. You probably heard of wireless fences. I'm not a big lover of those because I think that they actually harm the pet by giving them a shock. I think that's really bad. So they say it's about no more lost cats and dogs, and you use tech to track them. Um, so you can actually pinpoint your pet, very similar to the way you can pinpoint your iPhone, right? And so if you're able to save your cat or your dog from wandering off, that pet can potentially stay out of any harm's way. Pets could be dog napped or cat napped, whatever you want to call it. There's a couple companies out there that I looked at, and a lot of this technology, I got to tell you, folks, it is not inexpensive, especially if you have multiple pets. This can be an issue. Um, Basically, having dedicated pet, they call it dedicated pet tracking. Is out there. And so a lot of people have used them, some haven't. Um, you know, one person said that you might not even realize it, but your car insurance company is probably overcharging you, and the fact they're kind of counting on you not noticing, right? So that's where a lot of people throw in that thing about tech, and they kind of throw that in. And I say that to you because we're thinking about tech with dogs, right? But now that you're looking about tech with dogs, you talk about money. They try to play this switch bait game, right? And I think that's a problem. So lost dog prevention. Okay, they have this one company I looked at called Logimatics, techniques and technologies that bring your pet home safely. So they had done some statistics, which I think was kind of interesting. I don't know if you know this. A lot of people have fear of losing a pet, and one owner experiencing this is too much. Coupled with the alarming statistics, with over close to 2 million dogs are stolen each year, your furry friend's desire to explore might make him or her, well, a problem. And our pets, for most of us, are family members whose paws leave lasting prints on our hearts. No pun intended there. So, in the face of the rising dog theft, like French bulldogs, Yorkshires, Terriers, and Chihuahuas, technology can offer us, well, a little bit of hope. I don't know if you know this, but 35.4% of microchip pets entering shelters shows up with inaccurate information. And this basically kills the concept of a happy return or reunion. Moreover, only 58.1% of microchip pets were registered with their respective agencies, also hindering recovering efforts. That's terrible. So these figures underscore the importance of combining technology with responsible pet ownership. Now, GPS pet tracking technologies are making the world better and safer, enabling 93% of dogs and 75% of cats currently in the statistics to be reunited with their owners. Now, understanding this, learning why your dog stray, it's crucial to prevent their loss. Behavioral triggers like the lure of an open door, the thrill of chasing a squirrel, or instinctual urges to explore. Adventure is part of a pet's life. Our goal is to make sure they don't get into trouble. So you can do things like behavior modification, training techniques, calming features of some tracking. But I don't like the things that shock a dog. They claim that it's not going to harm your pet. But I got to be honest, guys, I just don't think it's a good way. These shocking fences are, I think, harmful to your pet. And many people that make them say no. People say, are they bad? So they rely on an electric shock to a dog's neck that's supposed to be painful enough that the dog doesn't approach a defined boundary. And there are many risks to using these, okay? Not to get into all that now, but is it safe? They claim it doesn't injure the animal, much like it doesn't hurt a horse or a human, but it does feel nasty for a brief second. The idea of electric fences is never to hurt an animal. It is to warn them to stay away. For our pets, they usually only touch the fence once and then learn to keep well away from it. I think it makes the pet more petrified of their own property. An invisible fence is basically a barrier that gets put around your property, and it emits this wave length. And when they get close to it, it goes and will cause a remote, let's say, triggering of the collar when it gets too close. So there's a lot there, like the ethical dilemma and things like that. But I think a lot of people don't realize that these technologies are band-aids. They are not the be-all. They are not the end-all. And although we can talk about other types of technologies out there, there are others, right? There's NanoGuard out there, and so all these things, you got to pay a fee. And so I know a lot of you are saying that how much is the fee? So a lot of these monthly fees, they range from basically around $24.95 a month, sometimes a little bit less. And the mini GPS rechargeable real-time pet tracker is about $50. But here again, if it's rechargeable, right, you now got to get the collar off the dog every so often, or the cat. So I don't see this being a great solution. I think what would be great is if the wireless technology was able to charge that thing, or maybe while the dog or cat was eating something, it's able to get recharged in a safe way. I mean, these are just some ideas. So adjustable reporting frequencies can be set up for optimal battery life, so it can report every 60 seconds when moving, charging every 3 days with that, obviously. Reporting every 15 minutes, you'd have to charge every 5 days. Reporting every 60 minutes, charging each week. Reporting every 24 hours would be charging every 2 weeks. So, and they operate on a technology, ladies and gentlemen, called 5G or 4G LTE. Now, you're probably all familiar with LTE. I'm sorry. Does everybody know what cellular? It's actually cellular LTE service is. So, cellular service is long-term evolution. It's a standard for wireless data transmission, and it's commonly referred to. You might have heard of 4G LTE. It allows mobile devices to connect to the internet when not on Wi-Fi. So it's a different type of Wi-Fi without getting into all the particulars. So can a GPS tracker help prevent dog theft? Well, GPS trackers play a crucial role. But again, if the pet owner is not conscious of how these things work, I feel this can be a huge problem. All right, a really, really big problem. So we've got to be mindful of how the technology works and what we can do to prevent any kind of issues. Okay, I think those are very important things. Number 8, guys, celebrities are now entering the mobile phone business boom. What the heck is this? So from Trump Mobile to Smartless Mobile, stars are launching wireless brands at record speeds. But beyond the big names, consumers want value. Now, will these celebrity MVNOs, will they deliver, or is this just going to be some type of fad or a game? So why are more celebrities jumping into the phone business? Well, more celebrities are entering the mobile virtual network operator business. That's what they call it, the mobile virtual network operator business, offering wireless services by leasing network access from major carriers. Recent examples include the Trump family launching Trump Mobile, which is interesting. Actors Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett launching Smartless Mobile, and Ryan Reynolds owning a stake in Mint Mobile, which was acquired, by the way, by T-Mobile. Now, these ventures leverage celebrity branding and aim to attract fans, but pricing and service quality remain key factors for consumer choice. While some, like Mint Mobile, have seen significant success, newer entrants face a crowded market where competition depends on brand appeal and affordability. The MVNOs provide opportunities for celebrities and telecom giants alike, fueling continued growth and new launches in this space. So I think this is definitely something that is starting to become more popular, but it's definitely a challenge, as we can see. Number 9, the NH jury acquits consultant over AI Biden robocall. Remember, I said to you before, I posted something on TikTok, and it actually got somewhere that you know we would thought would have been interesting. Well, TikTok decided that it was going to be a violation. Now, what I learned is that it wasn't that at all. It was actually the fact that their AI system decided that it would be doing something, and I think that's a problem because their system was saying that it was basically telling me I did something wrong, but I didn't. Now, I put a complaint in, and so what happened was when I put the complaint in, it took several hours later, their AI system determined that I was possibly in violation, and I was posting about this exact post. And because I had a lot of AI terms in there, they weren't bad, but it kind of freaked out their AI system, okay? The NH jury acquitted consultant over AI Biden robocalls. A political consultant was cleared of charges over AI robocalls that mimic Joe Biden's voice. Now, the case raised urgent questions about AI ethics and election integrity. As we enter the new era of digital campaigning, I see this being how can I say, a little bit of a problem for some, okay? And soon, maybe for others, even more. So this was a New Hampshire jury that acquitted the consultant over the AI Biden robocall. The New Hampshire jury acquitted the political consultant Stephen Kramer of all charges related to AI-generated robocalls mimicking the former President Joe Biden during the state's 2024 primary. Kramer admitted to orchestrating the calls, which urged voters to save their ballots for the November election, but argued he intended to raise awareness about AI misuse in campaigns. Prosecutors accused him of voter suppression and impersonation, but the defense contended the primary was a non-binding event and Biden was not officially a candidate, so the laws did not apply. Kramer faces a separate $6 million FCC fine, which he refuses to pay, while regulators continue grappling with AI's impact on elections amid evolving legal and political debates. So, I don't know, guys, but so this was the post that kind of flagged my account. Again, it's fine on TikTok now. I see no issue with it, but it was just funny that their AI system gets very thing. And so I got a message back to me, and this is what their message says. It basically says, we've reviewed and restored your video. Thank you for being a part of the TikTok community. So they are, let's just say, very zealous in checking security, which I think is good they do that. But I think if you're going to use AI and you don't know how it's going to work and you can't test it properly, then you shouldn't really be using it. I mean, that's just my personal opinion there. So number 10, Honda launches and lands the first reusable rocket. Honda shocked the space world by landing its first reusable rocket. It joined the private space race with subordinate ambitions by 2029. The automaker made soon to be a serious player beyond Earth's atmosphere. And I think this is going to be something that we're going to have to see, what's going on, because it's going to be interesting. Honda launched its first reusable, I should say, rocket. Honda successfully launched and landed its own reusable rocket during a test flight at its facility in Takagi Town, Japan. The nearly 21-foot, 2,800-pound rocket flew for 56.6 seconds, reaching an altitude of 890 feet, before landing within 14 inches of its target using 4 retractable legs. This marks Honda's first rocket landing, leveraging technology from its other fields, like automated driving systems. Although still in the research phase with no commercial plans finalized, Honda aims to achieve a suborbital, I should say, launch by 2029, potentially joining the private spaceflight industry alongside companies like, well, SpaceX. Move over, Mr. Musk, and Blue Origin. So it's interesting that these people are now trying to get into space, right? That's pretty cool. And the internet outage disrupts Spotify, Google, Cloudflare when Google Cloud faltered. It took down Spotify, Discord, and more. It proved how fragile our digital ecosystem can be when providers go offline. And I think we as consumers need to have a backup and know that sometimes things like this can happen. And if we're not aware of it, well, that can be a huge problem, not just for us, but for everyone else around. And number 12, yes, the experts doubt the Trump T1 phones. Was it made in the US, which is what they claim, or is that just something that's false? The question is it made in America? The analysts suspect it's a Chinese device in disguise. This echoes past controversies over political tech products and their true origins. Now, as much as Mr. Trump talks about the US, I got to be honest, from seeing him and knowing he's a business person, I have no qualms to say that he'll probably buy something from China, even though he says he won't, because it'll save him money. He'll do anything to make a buck. Number 13. Chinese hackers breached the Viasat satellite network. The state-based hackers targeted Viasat, a vital U.S. satellite internet provider. While damage was contained, this breach shows the ongoing cyber threats aimed at America's critical infrastructure. And I think this is an issue for a lot of people. They don't realize how, we were so vulnerable, and we still are, because things like, Salt Typhoon cyber attacks, they were extensively reporting accessing millions of records and spying on high-profile individuals. This incident highlights ongoing cybersecurity threats from China targeting critical U.S. infrastructure, including our own government and military services that rely on Viasat. So, this is a problem, and I think the people doing this need to be, they need to be more aware of what's going on and making sure that the services can be protected and that they keep out bad actors. So, very, very interesting. And ladies and gentlemen, Nintendo, they had that really big sale after the Switch 2 consoles. Well, I got some news for you. The Switch 2 consoles are using some interesting technology. And if you decide to use piracy hardware, well, Nintendo is permanently going to disable or, let's say, brick your Switch 2 console that will run any pirated cartridges. So it's a move igniting debate about users' rights, game preservation, and anti-piracy enforcement. So these are very, very big concerns. And Nintendo has started now to permanently disable Switch 2 consoles that use what they call, quote-unquote, third-party MIG flash cartridges, which can run unlicensed Switch 1 games. The cartridge, originally designed for backup and preservation, was recently updated to work on the Switch 2. But Nintendo's updated user agreement now allows the company to brick devices engaging in prohibited activities like hacking or piracy, affecting users with an error code of 2124-4508, which blocks most device functions and cannot be fixed by, unfortunately, pressing the factory reset button. While the crackdown aims to protect Nintendo's ecosystem, some argue that using such cartridges should be legal if users already own the original games. Nintendo has yet to clarify if it will restore affected devices or extend this policy outside the United States. Well, guys, that's a lot. And, as we think about new technology that's morphing, right, whether we're talking about computers, whether we're talking about software, whether we're talking about services like Viasat, right? I don't know. And the other thing that they pitch on their site and they kind of praise themselves for is, so they're out of Boca Raton, Florida, but that doesn't mean they're out of there, obviously. They boast that they have a let's say a U.S. based call center. I'm going to go ahead and just call them right now. I'm curious. Hang on, 1866. Just want to call them and see what they say.
Thank you for calling about Viasat high-speed internet.
Okay.
To order new Viasat high-speed internet service, press 1. Existing Viasat.
I'm gonna press 1.
Press 2. To set up service for your home, please press 1. To set up service for your business, please
press 1.
We are connecting you to a friendly product specialist. Just so you know, all calls are monitored and recorded for quality assurance and training purposes.
That's nice. Okay.
Thank you for holding. Your call is important to us. All of our agents
So they're busy.
Helping other customers.
But they boast that
caller number 1.
I'm caller number 1. All right, great. Let's see what happens now. So I'm guessing 1 means that I'll be answered within a few seconds, but I'm not sure. The music is terrible that you guys can hear. It's probably one of the worst hold musics I probably have heard in a long time. Oh, here we go. We're talking to somebody.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling about high-speed internet. This is JoJo speaking. So who got the pleasure of speaking with?
Hi, Jojo. My name is John. I have a question for you. So how much does it cost to have your service?
Okay, just so you know, John, this call is being monitored and recorded for quality assurance and training purposes. So I'm going to check to see if we can service your address first. Then I'm going to see how much it'll be, okay? I'll see if we can service it.
Okay.
And what's your home address?
Okay. So 590 Valley, Valley Road,
The code?
07470. Now I'm making this address up, guys.
Thank you. And what's the name of the city?
Wayne, Wayne.
Thank you. And by the way, John, I have your number as 973-394-1000.
Okay, that's fine.
1000, right? That's your
Yeah,
number?
that's fine. She's just reading my office number back.
Okay. And by the way, do you have service right now in that address?
I do not have service, but I wanted to inquire about what services and what you offer in my area.
Okay.
I'm waiting very patient here. I just put her on mute again. You can
Give
see.
me 1 second. I'm going to check.
So they're checking. You would think that if you call them, now they boast that they're a U.S. call center, but this person doesn't even know the product. So I'm trying to be very polite here. I've just muted them. But I wanted to just see what this is like because they boast how good they are. And that's what I do, guys. I pick up the phone, I call people, and I let you see firsthand what's going on. So how much will service cost me, and what's the installation going to cost me?
Yeah, I'm checking that right now. I'm just checking to see if we can cover your area first.
She's checking to see if they cover the area. So again, I gave her an address of where we had a business a long time ago. So I actually gave her a business address. She hasn't even verified that it's residence or home. Usually most companies can tell that that's not a residence, but the only thing she's done is validated my phone number through caller ID, but nothing else has really happened yet. I'm on the call with this person for a little bit of time. I mean, I was holding for a
And
good
you're at
minute.
590 Valley Road,
Correct.
in Wayne, New Jersey.
Correct. So I'm still waiting here, guys. This is what happened. So apparently they don't seem to know the product very well. I mean, this is what I'm doing. I literally called them up. I clicked on their product. Now I went to their website and it says voice only is $25 a month. Okay. So I got that right from their website. They're not even be able to get that from me. And I'm calling a call center. Right. So it says unlimited high speed for $99.99 a month, up to 150 megabits per second. Now, this is what I'm getting right from their website. I just want to see what they're able to do. I would say they should at least go to the website and get the information. I mean, I could get it from here, but suppose somebody didn't go to the website, right? This is annoying if you ask me. I wonder how long it's going to take her to actually tell me what I just found out from the website. So she's checking some documents. But this is the point. A lot of people say, oh, gee, we're US, you're US. But then they might not know anything about the services. Now, I'm talking to these people for quite a few minutes. We're on the call now over 4 minutes and almost 5 minutes now. I still don't know if they can service me. I still don't know what.
The Viasat does not cover area. It looks like it's going to have to be like T-Mobile. Let me check. T-Mobile is available.
So they don't cover my area, which is interesting. Because they claim they cover all the United States, right? I gave her a major location. And they don't seem to cover it. And I'm just going around and around and around here. And this is like, and I can hear a lot of people in the background.
Is this a business address or is this a regular home address?
It's a home address.
Okay.
So we're going to see here. I'm not going to hold too much longer because our show's almost over here. But this is like crazy how long this is taking me. And all right, but you said you don't provide service, right? So there's no staying on the phone with you anymore, right? Because you said you can't provide service to me, correct?
Yeah, Viasat does not cover your area, but we have different providers. That's available.
What do you mean you have? I don't. What do you mean you have different providers? What does that mean?
Like you can check. This is a call center that provides different providers. Like we have Spectrum, we have T-Mobile, we have different.
Okay, so when I call you, I'm really not calling Viasat. I'm just calling like a main number that just kind of refers me to different providers. Is that what you do basically?
Yeah, because Viasat is not available.
But am I actually calling Viasat, or are you another company that just refers to Viasat?
We're another company that refers to Viasat.
Okay, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Okay, so that was a complete waste of time. All right. I gave her some information. Look how long it took her to just validate that she couldn't even service my area. So it looked like they probably don't service a lot of areas, even though on the website they say they service a lot of areas. She couldn't help me. She wanted to start referring me to T-Mobile or somebody else. So it sounds like when you call this company that's on Viasat's website, it's not Viasat you're calling. You're calling a call center that's a referral, basically, place that refers you off to places. So my guess is the people that I'm probably calling at that number is some company that's going to get commission off of whoever I'm connecting. And Viasat's probably one of their big partners. But the thing that was very interesting when I called them, okay, is that they were not able to help me. And so that was a little bit annoying. You know, they say that they're an American communications company based in Carlsbad, California, with additional operations across the United States. That's where they say their headquarters are. They tell you their CTO is, the CIO, very nice. If you visit Viasat Deals, you go to another page. And if I put in an address, let's see if I can even do a lookup. No, let me see. If I enter my address, I'm just going to put in an address right here. And I'm going to click it on the website. And let's just see. I'm curious if I get any difference than what she was giving me. Because remember, she really wasn't giving me a lot. And hopefully, let's see if this gives me anything better. Okay. And so I just put that in here. So I just did that. And so I click on my link here. And it says unlimited speeds up to 150 megabits per second. Perfect for work, school, or for home. Now, she told me that they don't service me. But when I went to the website, strange thing, it's ready to take my credit card and do an order. So I wanted to do that, and I like doing that on the shows, guys. I like to call these different companies, and I like you guys to hear firsthand what it's like to call these businesses. I do this with some tech places to kind of give you the truth about things and let you know how sometimes people don't treat you very fairly. That could be any store that I call. I might ask them a very basic question. And that basic question could be something just to determine if they're going to try to rip me off. So I like to do that because I think that's really good to share with you how a lot of these stores rip you off. And it seems to me like this Viasat company, okay, they preach that they are from, again, the United States. But here's the interesting thing. They say their headquarters is in California, okay, and then they claim that their address is in Boca Raton, Florida. So, and here's what it says. It says authorized retailer. So that means to me that I'm really not calling Viasat. This place that I'm calling in Broken, it's on Broken Sound Parkway. And so when I click on this link on their website, and I go to the website for this, I actually wind up getting another company called SBA Site or SBA Telecom. Strange thing about them is the page says it can't be found. Then when I click on it, then I get a thing saying experience, proficiency, ability to meet mobile demand, and where else. So they're just a referral service that is trying to operate and connect you with people and make money, but they're not Viasat. So I'm really not getting to call Viasat. I'm calling an authorized retailer. That's what I am doing. And in very small print, it says one-time standard installation fee may be charged at the time of sale. Monthly service fee, equipment lease fee, and taxes apply. Speeds are not guaranteed and will vary. Service is not available in all areas. An offer may be changed or withdrawn at any time. Viasat Voice requires an active Viasat Internet service account unless you're on a CAF2 voice-only connection service plan. You'll receive a savings of $10 per month. And then there's some other stuff here. And so they have a copyright and stuff. But my feeling is this is kind of like a switch and bait. I'm just being honest. So when I see these things, I like to bring them to your attention so you're aware of what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am by now. But if you don't, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, a very passionate serial entrepreneur, engineer, video producer, and a lot more. And I love being a podcast host and being a podcast coach. And I share the truth, guys. I expose what's going on out there so that you guys don't get stuck, so you guys don't get caught in the traps. Be sure to check out, of course, believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. And you can do that by visiting believemeachieve.com. There's short-form content there. There is long-form content. And the best thing, ladies and gentlemen, is you can go to this site 24 hours a day. I think that's a really cool thing. 24 hours a day. You can listen to us. You can listen to a podcast. You can watch short-form content, long-form content, all from the private and comfort of your chair, of your bed, of your car, or on a hiking trail. I hope you guys found this show interesting, educational, and I hope it made you aware of some things. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your night. I'll catch you guys next Friday. Be well, everyone.